Welcome everybody. I am Tiffany with Voices for Independence Fitness and Activities, and I am here to share another recipe with you. This week we are going back in time and we're doing dishes over the decades. So we are all the way up to the 1970s. Now, dinner parties were still super popular during this time and people were taking all sorts of different dishes to their parties at their friend's house. One thing that became really popular during this time was the cheese ball. What it is, it's a cheese spread for your crackers and fruits and vegetables that people would love to make and share with all their friends. So I have a simple recipe for you today, one that was really popular in the 70s. It was called the dilly cheese. It's made with some cream cheese, which we have here, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 1 brick. You'll also need 1 cup of dill pickle relish. We're gonna need some fresh parsley, some diced onion, a little bit of cheddar cheese, some mayonnaise, and Worcestershire sauce. So to get started, I have put my cream cheese in a bowl and let it sit out to soften so it's more pliable and easy to mix. So once you have that setting out and getting to room temperature, we are going to go ahead and dice up our parsley and our onion. Now remember, this is for a cheese spread, so we're gonna want a real fine chop on our ingredients here. So with the fresh parsley, you can also use dried parsley, but fresh herbs are always better. So I picked some up off the, up at the grocery store. And this is just a nice Italian parsley. It's the one that we traditionally see when we are at restaurants as garnish. So we're just gonna finely chop our parsley, and then also we're gonna finely chop some onion. So a nice way to chop onion is once you have peeled it, to slice it right down the center where the core is. And then we turn it on its side, and you can see lines or ribs in the onion going horizontal. So we're gonna cut those on the vertical bias. And then once we go back over them, we'll cut them right in line with the ribs, and then it'll give you a nice fine chop. It's an easy way to get a nice chopped onion, and it stays together, so it's easy to cut as well. And for this onion, we're just gonna need 1/4 cup of chopped onions. So I'm gonna take what I have here, turn it the other direction, and then slice it. And again, you want this really finely chopped. You don't want anyone biting into a large hunk of onion because that's not very pleasant. So we're gonna chop this up, and then it's a simple recipe. All the ingredients are going to get added together right in the one bowl. As you know, those are always my favorite recipes. Anything I can do in one bowl and have less mess and less cleanup. This is a quick recipe to put together, but prior to serving or taking to your party, you're going to want to make this a few hours in advance because you're going to want this to chill in the refrigerator. Shaping the foods are really popular in the past, from Jell-O molds to these cheese balls that everyone loved to take to parties. It was really popular to mold the food. All right, I'm gonna set my extra onion aside, and then we're gonna start adding all the ingredients right to our bowl. So we have 8 ounces of cream cheese. We're going to add 1 cup of the dill pickle relish. I bought it already prepared, but if you are a canner, you can make your own as well. And we wanted to drain it. So there was a little bit of pickle juice in here, so I drained that out as well prior to preparation. So we're gonna take the 1 cup of pickle relish. Again, it's dill pickle relish, hence the name, the dilly cheese ball. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of our finely chopped onion that we just prepared. And again, it's always great to work on our knife skills. If you want, there's wonderful videos online that can show you quick and easy ways to get a great fine chop to all your fruits and vegetables. All right, so now we need 1/4 cup of our onion. Let me get my measuring spoon out, and we have it right here. So we're gonna get 1/4 cup of the finely chopped onion. And anytime you can chop a lot of it at one time, you can just save it in a container in your refrigerator, and then you're all ready next time you need chopped onion. I do that a lot of time with my food prep. I'll chop a lot of my vegetables ahead of time, so when a recipe calls for it, I can just grab it out of the fridge and it's ready to go. So we're gonna, each time we add an ingredient, we're gonna start to mix it up a little bit to make it easier. And next we are going to add our parsley, which is, again, we're just adding 2 tablespoons of the fresh parsley as we're mixing all our ingredients, folding them in to get a nice even mix. So we need 2 tablespoons of our parsley. Again, fresh herbs are always best, but if you have dried parsley in your cupboard as well, that is a great alternative. So we're gonna get 2 tablespoons. And herbs, fresh herbs don't last as long, although you can set them out to dry and they'll have the same effect. But if you keep in the refrigerator, you have to use them within a few days or else they'll start to wilt and they won't be as flavorful. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of mayonnaise. Again, this is 2 tablespoons of the mayonnaise as well. So get our parsley off. And we're just gonna add 2 tablespoons right to our bowl. And then we're gonna add our cheddar cheese, which will be 1 1/4 cups. So it's almost a full bag. Pardon me, it's more like 1 1/2 cups. So I'm not sure how much I've used, so let's measure it out. Typically, if you buy the shredded cheese at the store, they're 2-cup bags. If you buy the smaller size, a larger size, they get into 4 and then 8 cups, and then you can just buy it by the pound after that. Perfect, 1 1/2 cups of our shredded cheddar. We're gonna mix that in along with the mayonnaise. And again, I like to mix it after each ingredient for the cheese ball because it helps incorporate everything evenly. This is not something we're gonna bake or anything, so you want to make sure it's ready to go when we get to the final step. Lastly, we have a little Worcestershire to add to it, and that is just going to be 1 tablespoon. And I'll add a little bit of flavor to it. I threw my tablespoon away, so let's get another one out, a clean one out for us. We'll add that right in. And then once we're done, we are going to lay out a piece of saran wrap, plastic wrap, and what you're gonna want to do is form our cheese spread that we have here into a ball. And we're gonna wrap it in the saran wrap, and that's where it's gonna chill for a few hours in the refrigerator, just so it firms up a little bit. It's at room temperature right now from all our ingredients, just to make it easier to mix. So let's finish mixing it up. And then we're going to put it on our piece of saran wrap and chill it in the refrigerator. So this can then be served. What you'll want to do is when you take it out of the refrigerator, if you're taking it to a dinner party or a little get-together, nowadays we take it to a little outdoor event, we can just plate it up, put it on a plate, because you know presentation is always important. And we'll surround it by some crackers or veggies, and you'll have a wonderful appetizer to share with your friends. So I'm gonna get a piece of saran wrap out. Now this doesn't have to be a perfectly round ball to work out. You can also just put this in a dish if you want. Like I said, molded food, cheese balls, and things of that nature are really popular still in the 70s. It started a little bit in the 60s. Because going to these potluck and dinner parties was very popular. So I'm just going to set my saran wrap out on the counter here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and shape it a little bit in the bowl by folding it over. And then we're going to place it right onto our saran wrap. So it'll slide right out. Again, trying to shape it as we go. Right there in a little bit of a pile. But if you can use your spatula or spoon or whatever utensil you're using, we're gonna try and shape it a little bit. You want to work fast because it'll start to spread, so you want to get it wrapped up. So it's more like a dome is the look we're going for because it needs to sit on the flat surface here. So we're just going to smooth it out, and then we just simply fold up our saran wrap. I'm going to slide it onto a plate. If you wanted to, you could obviously put this on a plate first as well. It'd probably be a little bit easier to transfer to the refrigerator to chill. We just want to fold it up and make sure it's all covered, and then you can form it again. I'll grab a plate out of the cupboard, and then we'll just lift it up. And perfect, the cheese ball is ready to chill, and it's a great dill flavor, which is a popular seasoning to use in the 70s, and we're all ready for that wild dinner party. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I'll be back later with dishes through the decades, sharing the 70s, and we'll be dancing on through the 80s and 90s the rest of the week. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you back here in a little bit. Thanks, guys.